Okay guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite cheek products from the drugstore. I got a lot of good feedback from my favorite eye makeup products from the drugstore, so I figured I'd move right along and onto cheeks. So these are going to be like my favorite highlighters, bronzers, and blushes from the drugstore. I'm kind of one of those people when it comes to bronzers and highlighters that when I find one that I like, I just wear it out. So I don't like test out different highlighters or different bronzers. So if you all have some good recommendations for good drugstore highlighters or drugstore like bronzers or contour products, definitely leave those suggestions or recommendations for me down in the comments, because I need to expand that part of my makeup collection because it's not really big, but I will show you the products that I do have and that I do love. The two bronzers that are my favorites from the drugstore, and honestly these are the only two drugstore bronzers that I own, so like I said, if you all have some better recommendations for me, leave them down in the comments. This first one is the NYX Matte Bronzer, and the color I have is light. This bronzer is a really good bronzer for girls or whoever that wears makeup that is more fair, but at the same time you have a warm skin tone. Because this bronzer is a little more of like a reddish kind of, I don't want to say orange, but it's more of like a reddish color. Like, I don't know if you can see compared to this other bronzer that I'm about to show you, but I'll just go ahead and compare them anyways. Like, see, this one is like a little more reddish or something compared to this one. So if you have a really warm, fair skin tone, this is a good one. I do really enjoy this as a bronzer, and it is matte. It has like no shimmer in it at all. I like the texture of it. It's not like too powdery or anything. And that's what it looks like if I was to build it up like on my skin. I feel like on camera it looks a little more pinky than what it does in person, but it is more of like a pinky bronze type color. So it also doubles as a really good like cheek color as well. Like, it's one of those good bronzers to do like a large area of your cheek. So yeah, I do enjoy this one. One of my favorites from the drugstore. You can't get this from the drugstores here in the US, but I know you can get this overseas, like in the United Kingdom at the drugstores. I am including this in my drugstore favorites because technically it is a drugstore product, just not here in the US. But it is Bourjois Paris, and it is their chocolate bronzing powder. And the shade that I have is 51. So that's just what the packaging looks like on the front there. And then the inside of it just looks like this. It looks like a chocolate bar. Now, with this bronzer, it does not smell like chocolate or anything. I wish it did, but maybe it does just a little bit. It has a little bit of a scent, but it's nothing that you would ever really notice. I actually got this bronzer from one of my friends here on YouTube. We did a makeup swap. Her name's Olive Dumond, and she sent this to me. I'll link her channel down below if you'd like to go check her out. She's really sweet, and I really like her. She's a really sweet girl. The Bourjois chocolate bronzer is more of just like your traditional type of bronzer. So this one is also a matte bronzer. It has no shimmer in it, but it's definitely one of my favorites. This is my top favorite out of the highlighters that I have, and it is the Hard Candy So Baked Bronzer in Tiki. And I don't use it as anything else but as a highlighting product. It's too golden and shimmery for a bronzer, like as you can see on my finger there. It's just a really pretty golden highlighter. And it's not too shimmery, like it doesn't have chunky shimmers in it or anything like that. It just has a really nice sheen. So this is a really pretty light golden highlighter that I highly, highly recommend. And I've had this highlighter for at least 3 years, and I feel like I've barely put a dent in this product. So it does last for a really long time. You can get Hard Candy products at Walmart. Then the other highlighting product is another Hard Candy product, and I'm so upset because this thing broke. I dropped it and it shattered, but I just smushed it back in there. I'm making it work. But it's the Hard Candy Blush Crushed Baked Blush, which it's definitely crushed now. So mad that I broke this. But it's in the color Honeymoon, and it's a really pretty, like, corally pink color. But it is a great highlighter. It also doubles as a great blush too, and I just dropped some of it on me. I'm gonna make like a huge mess. I was just gonna try and swatch it for you if I can. I'm probably not gonna be able to hold it up without the lid because it will go everywhere. It's this color right here on my middle finger. So you can see it's kind of like a shimmery light pink. I'm wearing it today as my blush, and I also have another highlighting product, so like my cheeks are really highlighted today. It's right up here. I don't know that you can really see it super well, but it's just a really pretty light pink highlighter. So I do enjoy this as a highlighter and as a blush. So yeah, I'm just going to group it in my highlighters because I mostly use it as a highlighting product. The last highlighting product that I own, and that's also one of my favorites from the drugstore, is this e.l.f. Baked Highlighter. And this color is in Blush Gems, and it's a really nice neutral highlighter. But this one is a little more intense than those other highlighters that I just showed you. It has more shimmer in it, and it has some chunky shimmers in it as well. It's right here on my wrist. So I don't know if you can see like how much sheen it has to it, and that is the highlighter that I have on my cheeks today. So you can see that it really highlights really well. Like, it is a very bright highlighter. But yes, this is another good one, and I also use it as an eyeshadow. Like today, that's what I used as my eyeshadow as well, so it does double as an eyeshadow or a highlighter. This first one is the Maybelline Dream Bouncy Blush, and the color that I love is this Hot Tamale. It's a really pretty coral color, and it looks great for the summertime. And it has really good pigmentation. It's right here on my finger. I know that some of these Dream Bouncy blushes don't have a whole lot of pigmentation, so you have to kind of build them up. But this one has really good pigmentation, and it's just a beautiful coral color. I love the Dream Bouncy blushes. Another favorite cream blush of mine is this NYX Rouge Cream Blush, and it's in the color Boho Chic. It's just a beautiful light baby pink. It is a very pretty cream blush, and it's one of those ones, it's right here, it's one of those ones that's like really subtle, but at the same time just so pretty. And it's right here below the Hot Tamale. It just gives you a really pretty like natural flush. It looks great when you're wanting to create like a dewy like look. Then my last favorite cream blush from the drugstore is this MUA Makeup Academy Blush Perfection, and it's in the color Lush, I do believe. And I know you can't get MUA over here in the US, but overseas in United Kingdom and over in the European countries, I know you all can pick this up, and this blush is super, super beautiful. This is another one of those products that Olive sent me. But it is a gorgeous, gorgeous pink blush. It is pretty intense, so you have to use a light hand with it. But it is just a gorgeous color, and I highly recommend it. It's very pigmented and, like I said, gorgeous. I have several favorites when it comes to powder blushes from the drugstore. I have a ton of powder blushes. So I had to like narrow this down, so I hope this part of the video isn't too super long, but I did want to share with you guys my favorite brands and colors. I love the e.l.f. Studio blushes. I feel like e.l.f. makes some awesome blushes, and e.l.f. makes a lot of awesome products, I feel like, especially for the price. I do believe these e.l.f. Studio blushes are like $3 a piece, so they are super affordable. The first one that is my favorite is Pink Passion, and it is just a bright, in-your-face pink. Whenever you wear this though, it just looks really glowy and just super healthy. I love this color. It's right here on my middle finger. Sorry, I keep using my middle finger. And I'll just swatch it on my hand for you so you can see. It's right here on the bottom, but it's just a gorgeous blue tone, bright pink. And it's hard to find good drugstore blushes that are this color, so I do highly recommend this one if you don't have it. And it's also a matte blush. It has no shimmer. Then another favorite e.l.f. blush is the Tickled Pink. And Tickled Pink is a very natural color. So if you are creating a makeup look that is maybe like really bold eyeshadows, or if it's just one of those days you don't really know what blush color to wear, this is that blush. It just goes with anything and it looks super natural. It's not anything real intense. I have it swatched right here on my pinky, and it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. It doesn't have glitter in it. It's just like a nice sheen, and it looks beautiful on your cheeks. And as you can see, it just looks like really natural compared to the other blushes I have swatched. So it's a gorgeous color. Highly recommend this one. NYX makes some awesome powder blushes. This one is my favorite from NYX. It's in the color Angel, and it is very similar to the e.l.f. blush in Tickled Pink. Just to show you what it looks like swatched, I'm gonna have to like get some baby wipes out and get these swatches off my finger. So that's what it looks like here on my pinky, and you can see that it is very similar to the e.l.f. one. I'm just gonna put it right below it so you can really see. I do believe Angel is it might be slightly more pink. This one is a little more just like natural. And I think the NYX one might be slightly lighter than the e.l.f. Try to get some more of it on there so you guys can see. So this one's slightly pink, this one's a little more natural. But they are very close to the same color, and this is also has a nice sheen to it as well. No shimmer. Another drugstore brand that makes awesome blushes, Milani. Milani baked blushes are amazing, and I cannot believe I didn't have these in my collection for the longest time. Like, I didn't buy these until like the beginning of this year. And I love the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. And my other favorite from Milani is Bella Rosa. The Luminoso, I'm sure you have heard about it. Everybody raves about this. It's just a beautiful coral orange blush. It looks beautiful in the summertime, especially when you want like a really bronze glow with like bronzer, and then you put this on as your blush. It looks absolutely stunning. And it's another one of those blushes that has a nice sheen to it. It doesn't have like chunky glitter or anything like that. It just has a nice sheen. And I'm going to swatch it for you. So this one down here, that is Luminoso. So you can see that it's definitely a lot more coral than the other blushes that I have up there. Very, very pretty color though. I highly recommend that one. Out of all the blushes, if you don't have any of the other ones, I definitely would say go out and get this one. I love it so much. Then for Bella Rosa, it's a good dupe for another blush that I love, which isn't drugstore, but my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in the color Natural Beauty. This Bella Rosa color from Tarte is a good dupe for it. The only thing with the Bella Rosa, it's a little more intense than the Tarte one, so it's a little harder to work with, but it's still a beautiful color and I love it. So that is Bella Rosa right here. You just have to use a really light hand with it, but it is a gorgeous blush color. It just gives you like a natural flush to your cheeks. Almost like if you were outside and it was cold and then you came inside, how your cheeks have that nice rosy glow to them. That's what this blush does for you. And it has no shimmer at all. This one is completely matte. Another company that makes awesome blushes from the drugstore, Sonia Kashuk. And you can get Sonia Kashuk blushes at Target. My two favorites are Flamingo and Sunset. And I think she may have changed the packaging since the last time I got these. Like, I think the packaging is a little different, but I do like the packaging on these. It's just really sleek and it has the magnetic closure. The one here in Flamingo is a good dupe for Tarte's, what is it, Doll Face blush, which is also just like a matte pink. This one here by Sonia Kashuk is an exact dupe for it. So if you want a cheaper alternative, go with Sonia Kashuk. Sonia Kashuk is just a little more intense. It's just a really pretty light pink bubblegum blush. It's right down here. It is somewhat similar to my e.l.f. blush in Pink Fusion. Is that? I already forgot the name. Like, what the heck? Yeah, Pink Passion. I just called it Pink Fusion for some reason. I think e.l.f. has another blush that's Pink Fusion. It is similar to that one. It's just that the Flamingo one is a little lighter than the Pink Passion one. I don't know if you can see the difference there. But it's still a great blush. And this one is also another blush that is completely matte. This blush here is a really, really gorgeous blush. And I never think to wear it that much. Like, I always forget about it in my collection. But it is super pretty. And this is Sunset. It's a beautiful corally orange. And this one has some tiny, tiny shimmers in it. It's not super noticeable. But it is a really pretty, like, bright orangey coral. You do have to use a light hand with that one as well because it is pretty pigmented, but it is a gorgeous, like, corally orange blush. Okay, my last two drugstore favorite blushes are two blushes that you can get at drugstores over in the UK. I did want to include these because they are my favorites. They are drugstore, even though you can't get them in the US. If I have European followers, these will be, you know, good choices for you all because I know some of the American blushes that I show you all you can't get over in the UK. So, the Sleek blushes. I don't have any other ones, but after after I got this Sleek blush, I know the other ones have to be really awesome, but I love this blush so much. It's in the color Coral. And I love Sleek makeup. I love their packaging. I really wish that we had Sleek makeup in the US because I love it so much. This is just a really pretty, like, terracotta color. I don't have another blush in my collection that is like this color. I would say the most similar one is the one I just showed you, but this one is definitely more terracotta than the Sunset. So you can see, at least I hope you can. In person you can tell the difference. I don't know if on camera you can. But this is a little more terracotta orange and this is more like coral orange. And the Sleek blush in Coral is completely matte. Yeah. It might have a little bit of sheen to it, but not much at all. It's a great blush and it's super, super beautiful. It's another one of those blushes that look really great in the summertime with some bronzer. It's also a good blush for the fall. Then my last blush favorite from the drugstore is this MUA Makeup Academy Professionals Mosaic Blush. And it's in the shade 3 English Rose. And it has all these different colors in there. But when you get in there and blend them all together, it just is a really pretty light pink. Like, you could almost use this as a highlighting product as well because it is so light. So if you are very dark skin tone, I would say you could use this as a highlighter. But if you are very fair, it is a very beautiful, glowy pink blush. And it's right down here at the very bottom. I don't know if you can see it there. It's kind of light, but it just looks so glowy on the cheeks, and it gives your cheeks a really nice sheen as well. Like, it doubles, like I said, as a highlighter. So those were all of my drugstore favorite cheek products. Like I said, leave me comments down below of some of your favorite cheek products from the drugstore, whether it be bronzer, highlighter, or like a blush. Especially if I didn't mention it in this video, because you all know me, I love to try out new products. So leave your recommendations down below, and I hope that you guys did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye, guys.